Gators going to Salt Lake City to face Utah, a team they beat by a field goal in an upset to start the season last year. Billy Napier starting year number 2. Now, Utah had no Cam Rising, their two-time All-Pac-12 quarterback. No, Rising hurt, still recovering from tearing his ACL late last season. So Bryson Barnes, a redshirt junior who raised 12,000 pigs in southern Utah as a youngster, throws a strike, and that's Money Parks to the house.
I love the play calling, the aggressiveness. Cam Rising got in there. You think they're going to come out and be conservative? No. All night long, Utah did a great job of keeping Florida's defense off balance.
All right, Graham Mertz, first game as a Gator quarterback. He finds Marcus Burke 37 yards down to the 35. Next play, Montrell Johnson. We know they can't run the ball. Johnson and Etienne, they've got backs. Here's Johnson. Eventually, it's a screen pass, so technically a reception, but driving inside Utes territory.
Florida had no problem moving the football early in the ball game. The problem came when they got inside the 20-yard line. Just too many mistakes throughout the entire night, taking away potential opportunities to score, which came back to haunt them.
Yeah, that drive ended up being a field goal. Here's Burke again, 24 yards, back into Utah territory, and then merged to Jonathan Odom. Big guy had a couple of grabs. A little shifty footwork there.
I thought Graham did a great job of overselling the fake, made the linebackers commit. It allowed the tight end to come clean wide open.
Later on the drive, 4th and 1, and it is a false start, folks. If they end up converting, it's a first down. All of a sudden, maybe a touchdown. They lead the game. Instead, they settle for a field goal, and Adam Mahalik misses it. So nothing to show for what was a good Gator drive. Ensuing Utah possession, 4th and 3. Gators going to get the football, except you see a flag. And what else do you see? Not one, but two, number 3.
They're literally standing like almost right next to one another. I mean, you don't think that even strikes a chord with either of these guys, that one of them's not supposed to be on the field?
It struck a chord with those guys.
Yeah.
All right, so that's an illegal substitution. Utah, here they go, keeping the football. And that's Nate Johnson into the end zone. 27 yards, they go up 14-3. Third quarter. Oh, Mort's off the hands of Ricky Pearsall. Who's to blame on that particular play?
It looked like he threw it a little quick. The ball got on Pearsall awfully quickly, and the ball gets batted in the air. I mean, ultimately it's on the receiver, but just not the timing you want between your quarterback and receiver.
Yeah, it led to this. Bryson Barnes into the end zone. On his feet, did that a lot in high school down in Utah. And he did it in this game, and then what a grab that was. My goodness, Caleb Douglas goes up great, makes a great play over a taller cornerback for the Utes, and Florida goes for 2, gets it. They're within 13, plenty of time at that point.
Yeah, but you know what, Dory? We've talked an awful lot about the rule changes and the clock not stopping the same way it has in the past. That fourth quarter went by in a hurry. Florida just settling for too many 3- and 4-yard gains and weren't able to push the ball down the field enough.
24-11. That, you know what, that just goes in line with the rest of the game, right? Clock management, missed opportunities. I mean, if you look at what Florida did, and we'll get into a lot of this here, but how a year changes. In last year's opener against Utah, Florida scored 29 points. They went for 451 yards, converted 7 of 12 on third down, and they scored touchdowns on all 3 of their red zone opportunities. But Thursday was a different story. 11 points, 346 yards, which, oh, by the way, was 76 yards more than Utah had. And on third down, 1 for 13. So let's see here. 3rd and 1, false start, cost them. 4th and 1, false start, cost them, ends up missing a field goal. 2 number 3s on a single play.
Multiple illegal procedure calls because you can't get lined up right. You don't have enough people on the line of scrimmage. Like, these aren't even
time management in the 4th quarter.
These aren't even like just bad penalties. They come at awful times. 3rd and 1. 4th and 1. I mean, you're shooting yourselves in your foot and not even giving yourself an opportunity. You know this. If you're going to go to a place like Utah and pull off the upset, a place that they haven't lost in a couple years, you have to play a clean game. And I thought Florida did quite the opposite. That 24-11 score looks close. To me, the game wasn't even that close.
No, it wasn't close at all. And that's the disappointing thing when you look at this game and you want to pull something out of it. It's not so much they had to go there and be perfect in order to win this game. You just have to go there and make sure you stay out of the way of yourself as your team. The penalties, the indecisive of not knowing, okay, who's going to wear number 3 this time and take it off, or you need to come off the field. Those are self-inflicting wounds that you give yourself as a team, and it's hard to beat Utah in Utah, but it's like now you got to beat yourself, you got to overcome yourself, and you got to overcome Utah.
I also thought play calls got in there late offensively. It seemed like the play clock was running down an awful lot throughout the game. How many head coaches in this conference have we seen give up play calling duties? Billy Napier's still one of those guys that calls plays himself. I don't know if you can still do it in this day and age, but that was also a compounding issue, just getting the play calls in time.
And, oh, by the way, they couldn't protect Mertz. He got sacked 5 times. They did not sack either of Utah's quarterbacks. They didn't even pressure Utah's quarterback. Really? They did?
And what did we talk about all offseason? The accumulation of defensive line talent, how that was going to be different to help protect the secondary. They did nothing to create pressure in the quarterback.
Props to Bryson Barnes, too, and Nate Johnson, both of the Utah quarterbacks that were put into a difficult situation with Rising not being able to go. I thought played well. Look at Graham Mertz. So if we look at what he did, let's assess him, right? Because his arrival in Gainesville was talked about quite a bit. 31 of 44, 333 yards passing. That's a career-high touchdown, and then the interception you saw off the hands of Pearsall, where maybe he did throw it a little bit quickly. What do you make of Mertz's first career start at Florida?
Wasn't good at all. Not acceptable.
No?
The first thing that jumps out to me, 44 attempts. For me, him coming there, understanding what he's been through, you don't want to put that much pressure on him. He does not need to be the savior of the team. He needs to be an important component of the team. You got to get more other guys involved. Running the football, that's the big thing going first, Chris.
Yeah, I would disagree with you a little bit because there were things that I liked about Graham Mertz's performance. I thought at the line of scrimmage early, he got them into some right plays. That was one of the things that the coaching staff talked about, his football IQ, being able to check a little bit more. And I like him out of the shotgun, too. I thought he looked a lot more comfortable there than he did at Wisconsin, where they were constantly under center.
The throw to Pearsall, we saw it bad. Looked like he did put some nice touch on a lot of footballs.
Yeah, he made some nice throws.
No, he did. I would give him this. The first quarter, first half, I thought he played very solid. After that, a lot of things went out of his control. Yeah. And then that's when it kind of haywired there.
I can imagine the level of frustration a quarterback's feeling. First game with a team, guys jumping, false starts. By the way, the Rice Eccles crowd in Salt Lake, awfully